With Liquor Barn, you can shop your favorite bourbon, that perfect bottle of wine, or discover something new. To place an order for pickup or delivery, download the Liquor Barn app, visit liquorbarn.com, or call your nearest Liquor Barn location. Follow us on social media and subscribe to our email list for all the latest news on products, promotions, and events. Liquor Barn, where Kentuckians go to celebrate life. Cheers!
Welcome to the Bourbon Life Podcast, your source for all things bourbon. Join your hosts, Mark and Matt, as they drink and review bourbons, share news about upcoming events, interview the who's who in the bourbon world, and, most importantly, bring you along for the fun of living the bourbon life. Now, here's your hosts, Mark and Matt.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it's my good friends, plural. We've got the entire Bourbon Life crew here hanging out tonight. We've got Chad.
Hello.
We've got Stacy.
What up?
We got Matthew.
Hey, Mark, how you doing this evening,
I'm doing great, Matt. How are you down there?
I know, I got to duck around the camera here to see it, but I'm doing great.
Awesome.
Really great. Always good to be back and have the crew with us.
Yes. Philip, how are you, man?
I'm doing fabulous.
I love that hat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You never wore the shirt to the concert, Philip.
I did wear it to the concert. I wore it after the concert.
You bought it at the show.
What story? I don't know what that is.
Story of the year, Mark.
You wouldn't understand it.
Until you got
It's
your
after
AAP
Limp
card,
Bizkit era.
Post.
Which we were just talking. Yeah.
Post biscuit
No, actually,
era.
let's see.
Post Bizkit.
I mean, Story of the Year, their first album came out 20 years ago. So
Did it really? I don't.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
remember
even,
20 years ago.
hard to
wasn't
believe.
I
as
think
long
that
ago
it
as
would
we
be in
did.
the genre that you would enjoy, though. Maybe.
yeah, you'd probably
Okay.
like it.
I think you would probably enjoy
Okay.
them.
Well,
Yeah, actually, I've ridden in the car with you, and based on some of your Sirius and XM stations,
They don't play them on turbo, but you'd probably like them.
Keep rolling.
Okay. Keep rolling. All right. We're not even gonna go down that. So how's everybody doing tonight?
Good.
Chad, you doing good, man?
Now that I'm here, Mark. Now, like you say, every day that you have to record, you're like, man, I fucking hate recording. Then you get down here, like, man, I like
There we go.
recording.
First 5 minutes. Already a bad word, man. Now
Yeah.
we're going to get banned
Yeah.
from YouTube, Chad. You did that on purpose.
I did.
Fuck you, too.
Now that he's already dropped it.
Man. Matt's if Matt's parents are listening, we apologize for the foul language. Sorry, Mr. and Mrs. Hughes.
Can we
going to
just
hell
can we
anyway.
just go?
I'll send them a gift to make it better later.
Stacy, how are you doing?
I'm doing great.
All right.
I'm
well, that's
better now that I've got some bourbon in my glass.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no doubt. So, and Matt, you're doing good
Yeah.
and everything. So, yeah.
He's
Wait,
back here with you. So
Wait, are we laughing? Wait. We're
Keep
doing
going. Matt, how are you doing tonight? Matt, how are you doing tonight?
I'm absolutely super.
Superman. Hey, did you guys know what Matt did this past weekend?
please enlighten
I'm
us.
guessing
What
he ran
did
another-
he
or
do?
Did another Iron Man.
He did something more
he-
productive than
he-
all of us.
All right, so I woke up Sunday morning and I'm looking at Facebook, and there's one of the local racing companies, Race Rise. They had the top 3 finishers for male and female in the Midsummer Night's Run 5K.
Did you finish as a top female?
I did.
Matt has finally made the transition. Congratulations, Matt.
That's right. Third in the non-binary category.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh my God!
So Matt placed third in the men's division. So congratulations.
Congrats! That's awesome.
Matt.
Hell yeah.
So the funny thing is, Matt's standing there in his flip flops in the picture, and I'm like, "Man, Matt, congratulations! That's awesome!" And then one of our mutual friends commented, "It's like, yeah, and he did it in his flip flops too."
It's very impressive.
So I'm wondering how many people saw that and were like, "Did that guy really run the race?" And it's surely not.
Yes, he
Surely
did.
not.
Surely
not.
Well,
This man runs barefoot.
yeah, what was that? Nola, what was her name? Zola Budd. You guys are way too young to remember her, but she was a barefoot runner. And she, in the Olympics, she tripped one of the U.S. runners, Mary Decker, I think was her name. And Zola was a barefoot runner, and everybody blamed her for tripping Mary Decker and knocking her out of the Olympics because...
What year was this?
I think it was the one where the Nazis did what was it, the 40s? I think.
No,
Martin just graduated college.
This is like in the 80s, man. I think it was in the 80s, maybe early 90s. Okay. But her name was Zola Budd. She's a barefoot runner. And
Was she
I
from
think she's
Eastern Kentucky?
South Africa.
Same difference.
Yeah.
Hey, there's probably a lot of barefoot runners in Eastern Kentucky.
Yes, there
There's
were.
a lot of
Well, there
barefoot
was. There's probably not
wrestlers.
now.
Yeah,
There was.
they don't know that they're barefoot runners. They just think they're runners.
Yeah, I was gonna say, to them it's just running.
From that day
And
on,
tonight's
I was
episode
running.
is we're gonna shit on everything.
I mean, seriously, this is like a precursor of the things to come. But tonight, we are
But
drinking.
Philip, how are you this
Yeah,
evening?
Philip.
I'm
Philip.
doing fabulous. Yesterday I was cleaning carpets, and today I'm sipping bourbon with you fine people. So
You fine people.
Well, that's good to know. We're a little more interested in your carpets. But,
Yeah.
We're moving up, guys.
yeah,
Congratulations.
that's right. I mean, you got to
Matt,
clean
get the
those
rub
carpets
back
if,
there. That's
if you're going to be eating pizza off of them.
yes,
So you guys have decided that we're doing blinds tonight. That's the fun part of this show. When we get the crew together, we never know what we're doing. And there are no notes. You guys, people can't see on the table, but there are no notes,
Chad, where are the notes?
obviously.
I was too busy today.
There are no notes. So we're just kind of winging it tonight a little bit. We have some ideas of what we're going to talk about, but for drinks, we never plan anything in advance. So we decided to do blinds because everybody brought something different tonight. So the first drink, Philip, you brought this, right?
yes.
All right. I'm not sure how we can do this. I mean, you want to tell us what the proof is, I guess? You can't
It's 80 proof, and it is as far as I know, it's a nationally distributed brand. So
Okay.
you should be able to get it just about anywhere.
Okay. Now, are you
I'm not saying you're gonna like it, but
are you
can-
saying can we do like 20 questions? Is this a bourbon?
yeah,
Is
I
this
like
a
that.
bourbon?
Yeah.
You can ask, yeah.
Is it a bourbon?
No, we should all have to go around and say what
Yeah.
we think it is.
Okay.
So
All
it's
right. We can do
Who
that then.
amongst us?
Yeah, I
is
feel like I could wreck this
really full
tasting
of it.
right now, but let's have fun with it.
Well,
Oh my god.
No, we're not gonna stop here.
don't wreck it. All right.
Chad
let's-
might know what it is.
Let's do the
maybe,
nose.
but I don't think anybody else definitely would know what it is.
Matt, what do you get on the nose on it, man?
So it's really light in color, first and foremost. I know at 80 proof, but it has kind of a straw, like kind of apple juice type color to it.
It actually does look like apple juice.
Yeah, but the nose is actually really nice. It's kind of creamy, marshmallowy, a little bit of some like caramel and chocolate in it as well. Kind of just like light s'mores type aromas. I certainly I don't know what it is, but I like the nose.
Stacy, what about you?
I'm getting straight banana pudding off of the nose.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
Why are you laughing at that? Oh. Go ahead, Chad. What do you get?
Skip me.
No,
Mark,
go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
You said
We got to make this fun. You go.
No, it's okay. I said banana
Bana-
pudding. It's creamy banana pudding is what I'm getting off the nose.
I get the light banana. It's almost more like an artificial
Like a Runts banana.
banana, or
the
even
OG
that,
banana flavor.
even that like Little Debbie banana twin snack cakes they used to make. I don't think they still do, but had the cream in the middle that was just
Oh, yeah.
banana flavored. Kind of reminds me of that aroma. Very light though. I mean, almost some floral notes to it as well. At first I was going to say it was like a single malt scotch.
I love it.
sometimes a scotch, but I'm like, no, it's not at all. But it's
I didn't get that either.
no,
It's fine.
not.
Hey, listen. This is the
No.
master of
I'm a
bourbon.
I know.
I don't know shit about scotch. Okay, so
I mean, Maker's Mark is what? The best rye whiskey
it's the
out
best
there.
high rye. Maker's Mark Cast Strength Bourbon is the best high rye bourbon on the market right now. So Chad, go ahead and just tell
No,
us.
no. Keep
you-
me out of this whole thing.
All right.
Because I'm pretty sure I've
What?
already got it. Yeah.
Okay.
No.
All right, Philip.
I don't.
Can you want to talk about the nose? What you get?
Just straight banana. That's what
Just
I.
all banana.
And I brought this because I know I can't stand banana flavor, like the banana nose. So I was bringing to see what you all think about.
So
Well-
it's that monkey brow or monkey thing whiskey, right? It's that banana infused whiskey.
Have you tasted it yet?
I
I
have
don't
not.
know about that.
No.
Yeah.
How about we hop on the topic and then we finish
Yeah.
up talking about the whiskey after
Well,
the topic?
sure. That's the way we do things here,
Yeah,
right?
man. You're trying to go off
Sorry, that was me.
subject here.
I went ahead and
We're already
tasted it.
a good bit into this session, this
Wow.
first round here. So we'll save some of the juicier topics maybe for 2 and 3.
That's a good idea.
But so just recently announced that Blue Run
bought.
Spirits
Yeah.
done been bought out, right? By
Yeah.
Molson Coors.
Yes. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
Big
Yeah.
time. Big money, right? Now, of course, we say big money. They didn't disclose. What do you guys?
Keep
Yeah.
talking.
Just remember
man.
Blue Run
Did
is
you,
under
are you guys
contract
texting
on-
each other? Stop it.
He
Stop it.
texted me and asked me if he wanted to come ride bikes with Mark.
God bless. You guys are awful. The abuse that I take. This is elder abuse, guys.
Yeah, bike was my nickname in high school.
This is this is elder abuse. You know what? Podcast is over at this point. This is it. Show's over. Show's over. Sorry, guys.
Well, this has been the end of the
Yep.
crew.
Thank you guys for joining us. It's the shortest.
Hey, did you notice
episode
every
in
month there's bigger and bigger gaps between our episodes?
Yeah, it's phasing us out.
We are the first guests on our own podcast to not make it through the first round. We are not being invited for rounds 2 or 3.
Show's over, guys.
Our own show.
Sorry. There's the door right upstairs.
But Blue Run. So
Yeah, back to Blue Run.
They're under contract to do what? They have like a $30 million.
No, it's not
like
been
two-
disclosed.
No.
their distillery?
Their distillery.
It's like
that they're
That,
building.
that shit's like $200 million.
It's like 250
Yeah,
million.
so-
Yeah.
Something like
Yeah,
that.
Some
it-
huge expansion.
Yeah,
up
they're
in
gonna need that
Georgetown.
Molson money.
And the the company that built Google's headquarters or something is building it.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
Yeah.
Well, the design, I mean, if you get online, if they can pull it off, it's gorgeous, right?
Yeah, it looks like it's from the Shire.
Yeah.
I wonder
yeah,
what's
yes.
going to look better, that or the. Are they still building the big pyramid down there?
Bardstown.
Yeah, for
Kentucky Owl.
yeah. Are they still doing that?
far as
'Cause
I
that was
know.
like a few years ago.
Well,
With
that,
that.
I
and
forgot
that's supposed to be
about
a
that.
theme park too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
they
The
broke.
Playhouse.
They
whatever.
broke. Yeah, it was supposed to be like a huge, theme park, everything at the Kentucky Owl Park. It was called Kentucky Owl Park, right? As far as I know, that's still well. But of course, David Mandel was the president of the property division, right? So David's moved on.
Yeah.
And Johnny was with him too, right? Johnny was
He came over in
from
some-
Bardstown Bourbon
some
and went to
capacity.
Kentucky Owl, but
now
now
he's consulting.
he's
Yeah.
gone. Yeah, so he and David both are gone. So yeah, I'm not sure what's going on with that. But yes, if they could pull off that distillery, and
Yeah.
it's in Georgetown, right, or outside of
Yeah, I
Georgetown.
believe it's
Yeah.
in Georgetown. Yeah.
Close. It's on Toyota property, right?
It's pretty much
Yeah,
all
or
of
somewhere,
Georgetown.
yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, it's
in order
entire-
to build the thing the size they want, it's got to be like everything but the Walmart and Toyota factory
Yeah.
there. So
Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy how. People are like, "Oh yeah, I expected this. I expected this." I'm like, okay. I mean,
Well, how long has Blue Run been around?
3 years.
6
Yeah.
months. It seems like 6
I
months.
know. Well, they're a very and if this is too controversial, you can stop me. But I feel like their presence is very much in the realm of the Instagram world.
Well, it's
but,
like carrying a Gucci
outside
bag,
of,
but
but
in the
outside
bourbon
of that,
world.
do you really hear many people that you're friends with that are into bourbon, but maybe not on like the Instagram, like Facebook scene? Do you hear them talking about it? Because my friends don't. They don't know anything about it.
Not
Well,
a-
they're meant to be a boutique brand, right?
Right.
A higher end.
Yeah.
They want to cater to that crowd. They have Jim Rutledge.
Oh, yeah.
Doing their blending, distilling.
and what's the Mike Montgomery? Is that the
Mike Montgomery and
John
Shaylin Gammon.
Gammon, yeah.
And the cool thing is it's already been announced that she's coming on board.
Yeah.
So Molson Coors isn't trying to switch things up. But they came out that way. They were a high end brand, and so this, to me, this tracks with what we're seeing in the industry with bigger companies buying up these higher end, more boutique.
Well, sure. Well, like
brands.
Penelope. I mean, Penelope's,
Yeah.
Positioned themselves really more boutique, the fancy bottles, the nice design, the great logo. And, got bought out. And, talking with Mike and Danny a couple of weeks ago, obviously, I mean, their understanding is the whole team's coming over. So everything should stay the same, hopefully, which is great. I mean, I love it that, these guys are going to have access to deeper pockets and be able to do more things and be able to keep the team that helped build what they've successfully built. I mean, that's kind of the hope, I think, anyway.
I would say Penelope, to me, they have a broad fan base because they have affordable bottles and they have their higher end.
Right.
And it's
I
a
mean,
range of
yeah.
products too.
Yeah.
Blue Run to me kind of seems like almost like a Whistle Pig. Like everything they release is higher in price.
It's expensive stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's
It's
not
like,
much
I
variation.
think I saw the other day. I don't remember what store I was in, and it said they had Whistle Pig something. I don't even know what it was. It was new, and it was like $400.
Yeah.
So that's that's way up there.
Yeah.
But
So
for a company trying to expand their portfolio, I think this makes sense. Because, of course, Coors now has the 5-star.
Five Trails.
Five Trail and
yeah.
Barman.
5 Trail. And isn't that distilled in Barton? Or
No,
that's
Five
PBC.
Trail is
Bluegrass. It's Bardstown.
They partner with Bardstown on distillate and blending there, but it's a blend of like American single malt, American whiskeys, and
And it's
bourbon.
Cut with Rocky Mountain water or something.
Yeah.
Anyway. But
It's all got to be reverse osmosis. Doesn't matter where it
It's
comes
cut
from.
with Coors Light,
That's
man.
that's what I was
And
going to
in
say.
the, and I could be wrong, but in the trend that beer sales have declined all the way across the board.
Yeah.
Compared to, and then bourbon and stuff's going up. So it makes sense that Coors is trying to get into a different.
Well, it's because everyone thought like the seltzer craze kind of flattened, and people thought all these beer
no pun
companies.
intended.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Sorry.
people thought they were all going to go back. All these companies thought they were going to go straight back to beer. You know, all these IPAs and these crazy fruit sours and whatever. And turns out they're like, nope, we're just going to stick to RTD. So RTD's kind of plateaued, like they've kind of hit where they're going. But that's because people are leaving beer. I mean, like if I can go out to the grill, I mean, yeah, I like having a beer, but a Cutwater margarita is also nice because that's 12.5% and get you fucked. So,
And an RTD
Chad's
for our
2 for
listeners
2
would
now.
be a ready to drink.
yes, ready to drink.
Great cocktail in a can.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I'm hoping that they don't change things up. I hope everything stays the way it is, but I hope that opens the opportunity for them to maybe put out some things that are going to be a little more,
I think that's why they got purchased.
Consumer friendly?
I feel like Molson kind of seen them as like, I mean, Five Trail is not a bad pricing. It starts like $50, 50 or 60 or something like
Yeah,
that.
I'm
I've never
curious
had
to
it.
see.
Have you guys had it? I've never had
Five Trail?
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know
Of
if I
course
have
you
or
have.
not.
I've not had it, but they won awards
had it.
this year, San Francisco.
Oh, oops.
yeah. You've had it too.
Oops.
We've had it here.
Oh,
Oops. I meant to say, yes, we've had it and we've enjoyed it.
Mark, you're getting old.
You guys pick on me too much. That's why.
Alcohol-induced dementia.
That's what, yeah.
8:30.
I'll drink to
guys,
that.
You guys are
He's
out of
stunned
here.
down and let's cut this off.
53 minutes. You guys are out. Sorry.
I've seen that movie. What the kids go to the grandparents?
Oh God.
But I don't think they're gonna lower the price at all because I think Blue Run sees themselves as and I mean I make the joke all the time like I think they think they're the Gucci, the Ferrari, you know, the Aston Martin of the bourbon world, and that's cool. Everyone needs something to aim for, and they've got their fans. I mean, it's just hard for me, and I always joke about 90's the new 50, but it's hard for me to look at a 4-year-old product and be like, man, that's
Yep, I agree.
$100.
yeah. Is 125 really the new 60?
Yeah, and I mean it, and even their
70.
LEs, like they got popular. And this is this is nothing against sourcing any product, but people like I feel like I couldn't give their stuff away back whenever they launched in 2020. Like whenever I was Christmas Eve, I remember putting that first bottle on the counter, and people were like, "What's that? Why is it $400?" I'm like, I don't know. We just got it in 14-year-old something.
Yeah.
I mean, now of course people want those, but it's a weird market to like. I feel like boutique branded bourbon is you've heard premium, ultra premium, whatever. I just feel like a boutique brand is kind of the weird way to go because they used to really push themselves on like we hired a Nike designer to design our bottle, and I always thought, it's just an off the shelf. If you look in a bottling catalog, it's an off the shelf bottle, so they paid someone to do the labeling and then to design the butterfly. But I can't. I don't know. I'm surprised there's enough demand for them to warrant, and like, because it's not public how much they got paid or what.
Well,
they
that's
got
the thing.
Yeah.
There's no mention. Nobody.
But if I
I'm
had
not
to
saying-
guess, I do not think that they had the money to back that distillery. Now, I'm sure they had investors, but I feel like if you include the amount of money that the distillery was going to cost,
Yeah.
plus what I assume they got paid for, I say they're probably looking around $400 million total in, or $200 million just for the brand. That's my guess. I could be way off,
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know, man. I mean,
but
it's speculation at this point, right? So you don't know. And the question, I wonder how much, Mike, because Mike was the owner, right? So I wonder how diluted his interest is. I mean, did he have to sell everything out completely? Did he lose all?
I'd say that
control.
they got bought out completely. I mean, like Wilderness Trail
100%,
with
yeah.
Campari. I say they got bought out and like, hey, you get a salary now.
Yeah, you're done. So that'd be kind of hard, man, to build a brand and then be like, okay, I'm out. Or
How much did they buy the brand for?
we don't know.
We don't
That's
know.
what
We
we're
don't
saying.
know.
Nobody
Oh,
knows.
okay.
It's not
Okay.
disclosed as far
But
as
they bought more than a brand because there's going to be a distillery.
they're-
Yeah.
So
Well,
they're
that's what I'm saying. So my assumption is if they paid. I mean, if I'm using like Wilderness Trail and Penelope as like that kind of guide. If they paid $400 million for, like I say, it came out. They paid $400 million. Well, 200 of that's going to that distillery. So they're paying. I think
Right.
Molson's going to pay for that. They're going to fund that to happen.
Right.
That's an expensive ass project.
Oh yeah, it is. That's
Yep.
crazy, man. Which makes me wonder. I mean, did Mike have the money? I mean, was it already in place? Did they just do these plans and say, "Hey, we're going to build this great distillery to kind of make that more attractive to somebody?"
I'm
to
sure
come
they
in
had
and
some
say-
investors.
They
and-
had to have something in place because
Sure.
you're just not going to get that kind of deal, on the table
I
with.
mean, Fifth Third ain't just going to be like, yeah, here you
Yeah,
go.
but
Here you
here's the
go.
thing. I saw a story today, as a matter of fact, from local news. I think on Facebook, somebody sent me a story. There's a brand that's going to start. It's called Dad Bourbon.
Yeah, I read about that earlier today too.
But then it's like, well, we don't really have any product yet. We don't really have a place, and we're going to set up a GoFundMe. We need $1.2 million.
So they're trying to do like there's another brand that does a crowdfunding.
So, and
I've
there's
seen them
nothing
on
against
Instagram,
that,
yeah.
but at the same time, it's like, so they've got a story already in the news that they are a brand. They
With
have
nothing.
They have no
With
brand. They
nothing.
have no place. They have no liquid.
6 years out.
They have
you know.
nothing. They have no money. So is it that they're looking for somebody to come in and say, so that's why I just wondered, speculating about Blue Run, was it like, hey, here's our great design, our new,
I'm sure it is.
We're going to build to get someone to say, oh, wow, these guys
Yeah,
are serious.
maybe.
And yeah, okay, maybe you're not all the way there on funding. We can step in and help and just buy it all out, to make that more of an attractive package, because you get what they're selling at $150 a bottle.
Right.
Plus, you get a $250 million distillery
Right.
out of the deal as well.
I think it'll be good for the city of Georgetown.
Oh,
though,
yeah. No doubt
for
about it.
sure.
Toyota's got some competition for jobs. Well, I think that distillery's only going to employ like 30 people. So
Yeah.
Yeah, so
starting out.
Not quite like
that's
that.
people who don't make it at Toyota.
Yeah.
Damn.
Man. With that said, let's jump back to the whiskey because we're almost at the end of round one here. So,
Well, it looks like Philip enjoyed it.
No,
Yeah.
I didn't pour very much.
Chad, you've not even touched yours.
I've drank some. I'm not going to last.
I heavy poured Chad on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
sorry.
okay. So,
think that was
can I
on
throw it to
purpose.
you since we're at the end of round one?
Do you want me to say?
Oh yeah, I don't care.
It's Howler Head.
Yeah,
It's Howler Head. That's what I just want to say. It's the banana.
Yeah.
Bourbon.
Yeah, as soon as I smelled it, I knew what it was.
Okay. I'd never smelled it before.
Yeah, it smelled like bad decisions and tank tops.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Tank tops.
Yes.
Don't let them fool you. If you watch UFC, I don't think this is good at all. This
Okay.
is the president of the UFC, Dana White. This is his brand.
Well, I don't look at him for
yeah.
good taste in whiskey. Yeah.
This will make you slap your wall.
Oh, man. That is
I was
not.
gonna say it makes me want to slap my sister.
So I'm just curious, though. Oh, go ahead.
Okay, so it's Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey with natural banana flavor.
I'm calling BS on the natural.
That
Okay.
doesn't taste very natural.
it tastes
No,
like
It
I mean,
tastes like
it's-
banana runts.
Banana's gone crazy. I'm not going to read this.
so yeah, I don't know.
I feel like you could add that to a cocktail though.
It probably
Yeah,
And
I
it'd
mean,
be pretty
imagine,
solid.
imagine like a smoked old fashioned with this.
Oh, for sure. That would be great.
Imagine what you made upstairs, but like,
yeah,
with
something like
that.
Imagine taking the what's the one with the peanut butter flavored whiskey?
You can make all kinds of good
And
stuff
screwball.
with that. Screwball.
Screwball. Put some
Yeah.
screwball with that. Chill it. Put a little half and half or something in there. Have
Called
like
a screwhead.
Like
Yeah,
a little
man.
bit of chocolate liqueur or something.
Have,
I'm in
put some
that.
Godiva
Okay.
chocolate liqueur in there, which I got upstairs. I actually have. I don't have screwball, but I do have. No, I do actually.
See, those kind of cocktails to me just sound terrible.
Well, but it's fun stuff, and it
It'd be like a
appeals-
good shooter though. Maybe not a
Yeah.
cocktail.
Yeah.
Like mix it all together and just.
I can't sip
Down
on
the
something that
edge.
sweet.
Yeah.
Mix it
I-
all in your mouth. Just do a shot from
So
each
I've
side.
brought this 3 different times
Oh, so
when we
this is
had
the
talked
first-
about doing blinds.
You've been
And
chomping at the bit,
man.
man.
That thing's been sitting on the shelf forever.
Oh,
I'm like,
Well, I hate to tell you that. It's going to keep sitting there.
Yeah, because this may be the first. This may be even.
oh no,
though-
it's open now. So if somebody comes over, I'll be like, here, drink it all.
No, I was just gonna say this may be the first pour that I don't finish that we've actually had on the.
Yeah, I'm not going
Yeah.
It's a little much. I mean, and we will. Let's talk about the palate and the finish. Banana, right? Artificial
Straight banana.
Banana. It's like
It's banana. I mean, like when people talk about banana runts and like Old Forester and Barton and
No,
stuff
this
like
is
this is
legit
literal
banana
banana
runts.
runs. It's candy. So I mean, there is like a little caramel. I mean, there are some of those typical
Sure.
bourbon qualities to
You
it.
get
But
some-
Yeah, and I'm assuming it doesn't say the age, so I'm assuming there's.
Well,
it's
it-
4-year bourbon.
no, flavored whiskey doesn't have to.
yeah, flavor
that's
doesn't have.
right.
Yeah.
How
Distilled spirit specialty doesn't have to have an age at all.
how much was that bottle?
So that's probably 6
remember?
month old at the most.
Oh yeah, I mean
Want to say
shit,
$30 maybe.
Okay.
Is
I
that,
think
is
it's a
that
good-
right,
it's
Chad?
a good
Is it about
mixer.
$30?
about $30.
Yeah,
You can get
I
that.
mean,
or you can get Green River.
It would be a fun
So
mixer. So.
this is bottled, and I'm assuming produced by the same brand that did the Terra Pure stuff.
Green River.
Well, because it says the Terra, it says in Charleston,
is,
South
it's-
Carolina. Yeah, the Terra
Terracentia
Cinta Corporation.
Over in North Carolina.
It's Green River bourbon. It's green. Yeah.
So it's probably it's
Produced
Green
by
River
Wooler
bourbon, and
Brands.
it was probably bottled.
And then they ship it down. They do the rapid aging and add the flavors in South Carolina, which
Yeah.
is pretty much just used for like ready to drink cocktails now. And
Which it
Howler
kind
Head.
of tastes like a ready to drink cocktail. It's just 80
Yeah.
proof.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan. I'm just going to say it. Not a fan, but in a cocktail mixed up with something else for fun. Yes. And actually, somebody sent me a message on Facebook like 2 weeks ago asking me where they could find that. And I was
Really?
like, I can't find it anywhere.
Philip's house.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I
I
couldn't.
got an open bottle I'm mailed to.
I could not find. I couldn't find a bottle. I checked all
It's
the.
everywhere. I'm pretty
It
sure
is?
it's. Yeah, I think
It's
I picked it up.
national.
Yeah,
It's a national
I
brand.
picked it up at like Liquor Barn or Total Wine or somewhere.
I checked both apps and it was sold out.
Maybe they quit carrying.
You can
it.
probably go to a Family Dollar in Florida and find it. I mean,
So I was like, okay, so that's the only reason I knew that it existed was because I didn't know anything about it. But once I smelled the banana, it's like, yeah, that's pretty
Yeah,
overwhelming.
no
but,
offense, Dana White. I'm not
Yeah,
finishing
but
that.
palate,
No,
palate,
offense.
It's fake
I mean,
banana and
Stick with fight.
like just
Yeah, stick with fighting.
Stick with slap.
Yes. Shit.
sugary, syrupy.
It's
fake.
so
It is very
sugary.
sweet, yeah.
all right, Matt. So the question: fixer or mixer?
Trash can.
No, mixer.
No,
Yeah, it's a
Mixer.
mixer.
It would have
It's
to be
a
a mixer.
Yeah.
And I don't know for sure that I would actually even buy it, but I might just for fun to mix it with other
You can,
other
yeah,
stuff.
you can
so.
mix it
You
with
could.
something to make it
So
good.
I was thinking, like, for someone in your family, I'm thinking of my mother specifically. I could make a killer cocktail out of
yeah.
that, and she would actually enjoy it.
Yeah, I have nothing against flavored whiskeys at all. I mean, they
I
have
don't
their
either.
place, and
Sure.
people will
But it's
shit
not
on
in
them.
my palate.
But
I
I
just
mean,
heard.
there's a
Stacey's
couple
mom's
that I
got a
like.
bottle.
Jay, she's got it going on.
Yeah.
Oh man!
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, and gal, let's
You can
take,
just call me a guy. It's fine.
let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be back with more and hopefully some better whiskey with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
Three Chords line of whiskeys embody the spirit of creativity. The whiskey is a true collaboration between producer and composer Neil Giraldo and master blender distiller Ari Sussman. The Three Chord team of expert blenders, coopers, and sensory professionals have developed a multi-step process they called Perfectly Tuned Taste. This process begins by carefully selecting the finest bourbon and rye whiskeys from Kentucky, Tennessee, and Indiana, and then blending them together. Find out more about the whiskeys and distribution in your area at www.threechordbourbon.com.
From our good friends at the Stave comes Lexington's newest hotspot to meet up with friends, have fun, and eat some great food. District 7 Social is a social and beer hall, but it's a lot more than that. Located in Lexington's Distillery District, it's the home of Lexington's first duck pin bowling lanes, and it also features a self-serve beer wall. That's right, self-serve. And if you want more, they've got it. You can try one of their delicious cocktails from the bar or order some great German fusion food from their on-site eatery, Germanish. So what are you waiting for? Be seen, be social. District 7 Social. All right, everybody, welcome back for the second round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight, live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it's all my good friends. It's the Bourbon Life Crew, if you haven't already figured it out. Sitting around the flights of the round table, we've got Philip.
Hey.
We got Stacy.
What up?
We got Matt.
Hey, everybody.
And we've got Chad.
Howler Head sucks.
Yeah.
That's true.
Brother.
I think we figured that one out after that first round. Oh, Lordy.
No, I just want to reiterate. Has this place, has its customers. It's just not for me. It doesn't suck. It's not for me.
Yeah.
All right, moving on.
That's just, the first pour I don't think I've ever finished during an episode. But
Look at
If we
do
ever
we
have
wanna
a
show how
Bourbon
much
Life
is
Crew get together with fans, I will be pouring samples.
yeah. So this is the leftover from everybody's glasses.
That's damn near what he poured me.
That was funny. Yeah. That was great. He definitely heavy poured you, man. So so that one didn't fare so well, but yes, there is a place for it, obviously, and it is it's funny. And there's no doubt about it. So we got something different poured up this round. Matt
night and day difference?
brought us a little something. So
Yeah, I did. This is a 90 proof product,
okay.
5 years.
90 proof, 5 years. So
I think
This
I know what
nose
it
has
is.
got me so.
Are
I mean,
you
this is
freaking
like
kidding
way
me?
out
No,
there
I'm not
for
kidding
me.
you.
I've never smelled anything like that.
I think I know exactly what
Of course.
well, Chad, I mean,
know exactly what it is.
No.
Well, go ahead with the nose. Just
Oh, no. I mean,
you don't have to say what you think it is, but talk about the nose.
definitely grain forward, hay, straw. There's like lemongrass. It's got a heavy maltiness to it. Getting a little your typical caramels and the like, I don't know. I want to say violet, but I really don't know if I know what violet smells like. But when I smell this, I'm like, maybe that smells like violet.
It's because you're wearing a violet shirt.
Yeah.
I don't know what it smells like, but it smells like that to me.
Well, you ever smell something, you're like, I think it's that.
I mean, guess. Maybe.
There is a floral undertone there.
There's like a distinct,
But it's not
maybe
like-
lavender. I don't know.
No, it's
I don't really
not.
smell
Yeah.
lavender
No.
because Brittany's allergic to it. But
My
There-
wife loves lavender. That's
there
That is
there
definitely
is
not
a
lavender.
distinct like floral.
Yeah, like perfumey kind of orchid.
Yeah,
type,
but I don't know.
grassy cut flower stem.
I get a lot of I feel like it's heavy malted rye.
Oh, so malty.
Yeah.
All right, so so Philip, go ahead and go.
Yeah, I think it's like a heavy malted rye.
So that's what you're picking up, like.
And I get a little bit of honey, maybe, in the
Okay.
back.
All right,
Got a little honey in the back for you.
Stacy. Stacy, what do you?
Oh
keep
my
this-
God.
Keep this train on the tracks. Let's
I
go.
am also picking up a lot of malt notes. I'm not getting the violet, but I know exactly what this is. I'm just kidding, Chad. Chad knows way more than I
Shots fired.
do. But it's got that, it does have that barn funk to it. So I'm really curious to hear what this is, especially at 5 years. And 90 proof. And the color is, I mean,
It's
Fairly
extremely
light.
Yeah, fairly light.
is this from the United States?
It is from the United States.
Okay.
Is it a whiskey
We're
or
not
is it a bourbon?
we're not guessing
But
stuff yet, guys.
I'm not guessing. I'm asking a
curious.
question. I'm asking
Gosh.
a question.
Can I ask that? Is it a bourbon or is it a whiskey?
We just no.
Hey,
Okay, Mark, what do
Pipe
you
down over
smell?
there,
What do
Cotton
you
Top.
smell?
What do I smell?
Matt, check your phone.
Everything you guys smell. Now the malt. All right, so have you guys? What is that stuff called? That's you sprinkle it on food. It's like a nutritional yeast. Have you ever smelled nutritional
Oh yeah,
yeast?
Yeah.
I love
I've not.
nutritional yeast.
This reminds me of nutritional
Okay.
yeast. Does that make
Ooh, I
sense?
do kind of get that like a whey. I kind of get like a whey protein now that you said that. It's
Yeah, I could see that.
Does that make sense? I mean, it reminds me of
Yep,
nutritional.
that's
Negative.
Wow.
Oh, so
I'm
anyway,
wrong.
so but it's funny because nutritional yeast has a very distinct, and people use it like an artificial cheese.
Is it like a gluten-free thing?
What's
It
that?
is really
So is
good
it like a
though.
gluten-free thing?
Well, it's
Yeah,
I don't know.
like
I've never
dairy-
used it, so I
it's
don't
like
know.
a dairy-free
Yeah.
type alternative, but it has this like kind of umami
Yes.
type.
It's
funky,
a savory, funky
flavor.
savor. Yes, and that's what.
kind of like fake cheesy.
Yes, so that was the first thing. As soon as I was like, I don't know that I've smelled anything that smells quite like this before in terms of a whiskey.
I haven't either.
But it does. It reminds me of what nutritional. So umami type of aromas, I think, would probably be the best way
So
to.
Chad was texting asking if this is the Old Pepper malted whiskey, and it is not.
Oh,
But that is one of my favorite American single malts.
because there's no violets in it.
I don't know. I've never had it. Actually, I haven't.
This
had it.
nose is like if you're like a bodybuilder, this is your whiskey. If you like protein,
Tastes like protein.
So,
It is a little salty.
So let me ask you this, guys, as we talk amongst ourselves about this, do you think this is a single? Do you think it's a malt, like a malted whiskey? Then,
Yeah.
It's either if it's not a malt whiskey, then it's got to be like a 6-week-old bourbon.
He said it's 5 years old.
Yeah,
Oh, I missed that part.
yeah.
5
said-
years.
I would say
I was looking at you without
I
listening.
still,
You're so
I'm,
beautiful, Matt.
I don't know, but I'm thinking it's like a heavy malted rye.
Okay, but I got hints of lemongrass.
Yeah.
You know, which leads me to believe there is rye to there,
Yeah.
to it. Whether or not it's just a touch of rye, or if it's maybe
I
just
don't
I
know.
pick up like some subtle fruit on the underside, like at the very end of the palate of the nose. There's like some dark fruit in there. Once you get past that heavy grain note, and Mark, I think what you were saying with like the whey powder, like that chalky protein powder, some sort of like powdered ingredient. Yeah, that's good. I would have never put that together, but that's like I definitely smell that in there.
Okay.
It has.
yeah. I'm the master of bourbon, bitches.
It definitely has a
Back it
distinct
down.
like
8:30.
pot distilled.
Oh, it's got that
Nose.
pot
Yeah.
distilled
Yeah.
funk on it.
it's pot.
Yeah. Oh, it's definitely pots.
And it's definitely got lavender and violets in it too.
Hey,
All
Anyway,
right.
so let's talk about a topic, guys.
Mark's
what
about
would
to
you
pick a fight here.
What would you guys like to talk about?
Let's talk about how influencers take themselves way too freaking seriously these
Wow.
days.
Yes, are you okay with there, Philip?
Yeah.
You're just
I'm cracking my neck. I'm getting ready.
He's-
I'm gonna throw it back.
I'm gonna throw down here.
Warming up.
So no, but it is a good topic, and this kind of comes out of a discussion because is it Instagram that's doing threads, right?
No, I guess it is Meta or whatever. I don't know. Yeah.
Threads, right, or
Yeah.
whatever. So anyway, so it's kind of grew out of a discussion that you were having or that was had, right?
Yeah.
So kind of you don't have to tell everybody who or what, obviously, but let's just kind of talk about it. I mean, because you bring up a good point. So
Someone had posted something about an influencer had posted something that they said they overheard someone saying about this person made an opinion on it, and this influencer thought that opinion was stupid, and they made a comment about I could, if only they knew, yada yada yada. And so there was a flurry of comments, but at the end of this influencer, at the end of his statement, he said, "Well, what do you think?" So he's asking for open conversation. And I don't think he expected to get the flurry of back and forth that he did. And someone happened to comment to me because I said something as like, well, that's your opinion and that was theirs. And I said, we all have to remember it's just whiskey because it is.
Right.
And someone came at me and it was like 4 paragraphs. Like per message was like 4 paragraphs. Basically saying that the original comment in the comment was bourbon's better than scotch or bourbon's better than something.
Yeah. Okay.
So it was, this whiskey's better than this whiskey. And the person who replied to me said, how can you say something is better than X, Y, and Z? That you can't do that. And then they went on to tell me why they thought scotch was better than bourbon or Irish was better than bourbon. Well, it really didn't matter because once again, it's all brown water at the end of the day. And that's what I was trying to relay. And I think because they were influencers who were, I got a bunch of, not a bunch, there's like 4 or 5 different people between Threads and Instagram telling me why their opinion was the right opinion.
But it's an opinion. At the end of the day, it's not a freaking fact.
At the end of the day, there is no fact.
Assholes, just like opinions.
Well, to anyone, in my opinion, I think American whiskey is better than any other whiskey. We've learned from so many places. It's a melting pot of cultures. I mean, you've got like Jim Beam is using Japanese blending and finishing techniques. I mean, all of Kentucky bourbon's founded on Irish whiskey, and then all whiskey in the entire world is basically founded on Irish whiskey and then Scotch. But it's just kind of like, I just couldn't believe the amount of negativity that people were coming at this with like, oh, the original person saying this is so stupid. How can they be so close-minded? Yada, yada. And I mean, who cares? I mean, to the person who goes and drinks Howler Head whiskey, to them, that's the best freaking whiskey that they've ever had because that's all they drink.
Right.
But you can't go to that person and say Howler Head sucks.
Right. Sure.
Because
at the end of the day, though, that is the thing that ties us all together.
Yeah.
And how are you going to learn anything? Or how is anyone going to learn anything in this? Yeah. Come on, asshole. But like, how are you going to learn anything if everybody has the same exact opinion?
Right. No, I agree. Well, it's funny because even amongst us, and I'm case in point, you and Big Chief, you joke back and forth about Old Tub, right?
Oh yeah. I wish he was here today.
It's just fun bantering.
Yeah. It is bantering, but you both have. I mean, he loves it, right? And you don't.
No, I love
it's
it.
the vice versa. He
sorry.
hates it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Get your shit together, Mark.
Yeah.
So,
but even sitting around this table, like I know I love clear spirits too.
Sure. Right.
Not vodka stuff, but like clear. It's whiskey, but it's fresh before it's aged. And I know Matt's like, no, you can keep it.
Right.
So which everybody likes something different.
But everybody has an opinion, right? So it's not wrong if you say something as a fact because it's your opinion.
No, I mean, to say Maker's Mark is 90 proof, that's a fact. Now to say Maker's Mark would taste better at any other proof than 90 proof is an opinion.
Right.
So,
correct.
and actually, I think a lot of these influencers, and it's multiple, like I don't want to just pick on this one conversation or this one, but I think there's so many influencers out there. Everyone's an influencer. Matt, you're an influencer, you don't even know it, but you're on this podcast, you're an influencer. You're influencing someone's decision to do something.
#greatness.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's the truth. People listen to the podcast and people message, and I get messages from people that say, we've tried this or I've tried this. There's a guy that works in the company that I work with across the country, and he and his wife drive down to Tennessee to the lake every weekend, and every weekend they listen to the podcast. And he's like, I love what you guys do. Matt's palate is tremendous, and we stop and buy stuff that we can find, and I love Matt's tasting notes. And I mean, honestly, so they're buying stuff because we're talking about it and drinking it, and he likes your notes. So, I mean, yeah, you are. I mean, you're an influencer. So I guess that's kind of, what is the definition of an influencer? But,
well, I think that it's gotten way out of hand, though.
No, that's true.
Quite honestly. And like, I hate the term influencer.
Yeah.
I can't stand it. But like, nobody can get a start in and I don't even like to say in the whiskey world, but it's true. Like, nobody can really like get into whiskey without looking up to someone. So if we're all acting like a bunch of pretentious assholes and saying our opinion's the only opinion, like, you're going to turn everybody off from it. So I think that people need to get their head out of their ass is all I'm going to say.
Well, 'cause, I mean, at the end of the day, it is a form of media. So I mean, there is marketing to it. I mean, we all get stuff sent to us, and whether there's an obligation to review it or there are people who get paid to review things or post things. And, people will send me stuff, and like, I got a package today. The people who send me this, I have no obligation to them to post anything. So I'm not really doing any influencing for them. Right. But if I post it, sweet. And I'm sure that's a lot of people. I mean, I know you get stuff you don't post. I know that for a fact. But there are things that come across everyone's desk.
Shots fired.
But there are also influencers out there who like they look at that as their god tier marketing, and I think it's just gotten a little too far with some people who get too excited about that, which leads into the next thing of like traditional or legacy media. It's we all get press releases and we all get those emails and they'll say don't post or wait till this day. And you've got some people who, there's a couple people I follow who they have to be the first. So they're going to post it like 2 or 3 days early. And boom, the news is out there, whether the 128,000 people actually follow them or not, see it or read it.
Right.
But,
yeah,
it's.
Well, and that's kind of, well, go ahead, Philip. You're going to say something.
No, I was just going to say, I think a lot of them take themselves way too serious.
I agree with that.
And I'm sorry, but like charging companies to if they're sending you a bottle,
yeah,
I mean
that's payment.
That is that is payment.
Yeah.
That is literally money coming out of that company's pocket just to send it to you.
sure.
That for so let's just say $30 for the bottle, $30 in shipping to make
Right.
sure it gets there.
Right.
That's already $60 in. You ought to be gracious enough that they're even sending it to you.
And if that's something that you're wanting to do to make money, like your sole income,
Right.
then you got to find other ways to do it.
Yeah.
Because I don't think charging all these companies to
No.
do
And- yeah,
reviews
and,
is appropriate.
I mean, that's what Fred turned his tasting into. He turned it into a business.
Right.
Like if that's your avenue, then do it. But
Maybe it's just all about finding other means of like content creation or
Yeah.
marketing yourself. I mean, it's all about how you can market yourself. And I think a lot of these people look at it as like, I got like 8,000 followers or I got 300 followers or whatever.
and that's a whole nother thing.
and
Okay, let's break that down
And
real
these
quick.
companies, while they do care about followers,
Right.
they also care more so these days about engagement. Because,
1000%.
Like, Tide isn't just going to give someone with 50,000 followers, like, hey, here's free Tide for life. They're going to want that person with 50,000 followers to have 5 million likes and
sure.
views on every video.
Right, sure.
'Cause engagement matters. Yeah, followers are great, but it's all about, are you engaging?
Also, don't be buying your followers if you're out there.
That's what I
as
was
an
getting ready to get to.
influencer,
No
because
doubt.
I mean, even me, I have probably the smallest account of anybody here.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
I
Well,
think mine might be
I think mine's right around
Matt has
Matt's is
we've not
non-existent.
set up the Matt. We've not set up the Matt.
We should set up a fake
We
Matt
have to do
account.
that.
We need
Zero
to-
likes,
No, it's a real
0
Matt account.
followers.
I mean,
We
mine's
always
right
keep it at 0 followers. Like people will follow Matt, we'll just remove them.
My parents have been removed 900 times by you jackasses.
Mine's right around 2,500, and I know for mine, I get fake followers every day.
Yeah.
So do I.
And they're like, oh, crypto accounts and
Watch
Yeah.
my videos.
Yeah.
stuff like that. So like the follower count and all that, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
The one other thing with influencers that aggravates me, and it happened at an event we were at. I spoke with someone and I was like, hey, I enjoy your content. And that was the honest thing. I didn't expect a return. And they were like, oh, love yours too. And I'm like, you're a fucking liar.
Yeah, you have no idea what the hell I'm
You
talking
don't
about.
follow me. You've never seen my content. Mine's small enough. I know. Like you've never
Right.
seen it. Don't lie.
Yeah.
Be original. Because then that immediately turned me off. I haven't watched any of their content since. And I'm just
Wow.
like, you're fake. You're full of shit.
Yeah. Well, I get it. There are people out there that are doing it for a living or want to try to do it for a living. And it's tough. When I started the Bourbon Life, I did it as the Bourbon Life. It wasn't Mark Rucker. I mean, a lot of people have their personality out there, and I don't post a lot of pictures of me on, once in a while, yes. But not on Instagram, Matt. Facebook,
I knew
yes.
that face was
Oh
coming.
yeah. He
Facebook's-
doesn't do all of the
Not on
Facebook stuff
Instagram.
Not on
Instagram.
Instagram. No, I don't post. Yeah. Instagram is just
No bicycle pictures on Instagram.
no bicycle
Or
pictures, no
selfies.
me, hardly any selfies, very few
We did
selfies.
get a back to school picture.
You got the
though.
back to school picture the other day, yeah. From
You went back to school like Rodney Dangerfield style?
It was like kindergarten cop.
The triple Lindy.
Lindy. That's right, the triple Lindy, man, into a big bottle or a container of bourbon, man. So, but it's just weird because I've got like 53,000 followers, but it's the Bourbon Life. It's not Mark Rucker.
Certainly not Matt Hughes.
Well, but I feel weird about it, because I hear people talk about, well, I asked for this and, I demanded this and they're going to do this and do that and do whatever. And it's like, when I get something from a brand, I'm like, oh, that's really gracious. Thank you so much. Or when we get invited to a festival or to something and someone's willing to give us tickets to it or whatever, then I'm like, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't feel like they owe it to me, but I think that's a big problem in in the whole influencer sphere now is that people feel like they are owed, like these brands owe
The
them.
sense of entitlement is ridiculous.
Sure, but I hate to say it because if half of these people disappeared tomorrow, the brands are still, I mean, the brands existed.
Nothing would change.
Sure, the brands existed before social influencers, and the brands are going to exist after social media influencers, and nobody is that important that they, have brands been helped by influencers? No doubt.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
it's not driving the market. It's not driving the brand. It's not, nobody's that important. to them. So-
The thing that like a social media campaign that really drives a brand is when they send it out to mass influencers, and I don't know if they pay them or if it's just
Right.
they find the right people, but they send them mass and they say, okay, well, like I know like 15 Star, I think they've sent you stuff. They sent me stuff before, and they would ask, don't post anything about it.
They don't send me shit.
till this day.
Yeah, me either.
It goes out on that day. Well, then there's on that day there's like 30 or 40 posts, and
Sure.
then people are seeing it. So yes, that makes an impact. But
Right.
just sending it to one guy because he's got 100,000 followers, that don't mean shit.
Well,
because
it's all about strategic. It's strategic marketing.
Strategery.
So I mean, like they have to look at. Well, of course, they want people who I'm sure support the brands, and not to say like some bottles I get sent, I'll buy more of, some I don't, but it's all about how that brand can benefit from that. Now, if it's sending out 100 bottles.
Sure.
And that gets 100 posts all at the same time, and that shoots their hashtag up, and then they get 10 million views on that hashtag, and people are looking and looking and looking. Yeah, but if it's just they send out 5 things to people with 100,000 followers who only get 18 likes on a photo, what the hell does it matter?
Yeah, no,
So-
I agree. It's a weird situation that a lot of people are in. But I learned my lesson 20 years ago when I was doing extreme sports as an agent that you cannot be arrogant, you can't be cocky. The world does not revolve around you. I mean, I used to think it did when I was younger, and I learned a lesson the hard way. And 20 years later now, I'm like, no, it's just not. That's just not the way to handle yourself. It's not the way to conduct yourself. Nobody likes a person like that.
It's because you don't think it, Mark. Now you know it.
Oh my God.
Oh man! On that note, let's jump over to the whiskey because we're almost in round 2 here. Matt, Chad, you had a good point, and we didn't really talk about it. We can maybe pick it up in round 2 about the legacy media as well. So
Everything kind of flow together.
yeah, let's talk about the whiskey. So who wants to? Stacy, I'm gonna throw it to you.
Damn it.
Ladies
What?
first.
Come on, ladies first. Come on, dude.
This is a very complex palette.
Do you get lavender and violets?
I'm not getting lavender and
just making
violets.
sure.
What about caramel vanilla?
I'm getting heavy caramel and vanilla. No, I'm not. I'm getting some of that same like umami. I don't know. There's like savory qualities to it. I can't quite put my finger on what I'm tasting though.
Yeah, I got you.
But this definitely has some.
You're tasting the future.
Yeah. I'm really curious to find out what this is here, and I feel
Yeah.
pressured that you
It's-
made me go first.
I'm sorry, Stacy.
it's such a different palette, and I'm just gonna go on and say I feel like I'm probably gonna be one of the only ones that say this would be a fixture because I really enjoy pot stilled stuff.
Okay.
But I feel like it's a really heavy malted rye whiskey.
Okay.
And it's probably, I'm guessing that it's not aged in new charred oak. Like it's something that went into probably a used bourbon barrel or something like that. But
It drinks higher than, what'd you say, 90 proof?
90.
It drinks higher than 90
Yeah,
proof.
there's a lot of spice to it, which makes kind of lends to
Yeah,
that
that
idea
rye.
that there's rye.
Yeah.
It's malted rye. Chad, what about you?
I definitely get the malt. It almost has like a malted wheat. Like there's, it's very grass heavy up front, but the longer it sits, it kind of like you get that 5-year age on it. You get some of those oak and just like the tannins, caramel, butterscotchy. Top palate, like the front side, very grass. Still like the nose. There's a citrus something in there. It's kind of funky, but I don't love it. I don't hate it. It's still kind of like lingering on my tongue. The finish goes forever. Like it's got a really good finish.
Yeah,
It's
it really
long.
does.
The grassiness dies off. I think the finish is actually better than the whole palate. But it's I don't know. I'm very curious to know what this is.
Yeah, I get a little bit of that rye that you talked about, the spiciness that comes through, and to me that just translates as a rye. Yeah. But there's so much malt in it. To me, I mean, almost get like a chocolatey.
Have you ever had the limestone branch malted wheat? That's what I'm thinking. Like that's what it reminds me of because it's a little chocolate but bready, and it was very funky.
See, I get some like hay aftertaste.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like
that's what I'm getting. Like
almost underneath my tongue. It's like hanging out there.
heavy. Yeah. Like I get a heavy hay.
But I'm just thinking about somebody that malts a lot of stuff or that would malt. Matt, is this like a new riff funky release or something?
Is this a Kentucky product?
No.
No.
It's an Indiana product, not from MGP.
No.
All right.
I'm pretty sure he asked earlier if it was Kentucky, and you said yes.
I did
No,
not.
I just
I
asked if
asked-
it was a bourbon or a whiskey. But
And then I
Stacey asked
shut
if
it
was
down.
from the U.S.
Yeah, I
Okay.
asked if it was from the United
All right.
States.
Well, Matt, you might as well
It's
tell.
American.
We're at the end of round 3. Too.
Okay. Well,
Sorry.
my tasting notes on it.
Oh, I'm sorry,
Yes.
Matt. What are your tasting notes? Not that anybody cares.
Definitely malty and grassy.
Yeah.
Has to me a lot of like raisin bran, kind of like that bran flake, but there's also like a sweetness or a savory note, like a raisin or fig, kind of like those candied figs you had earlier in Stacy's mixed drink. But funky.
It is funky.
I
It is
dig it
funky.
though. I
Just
like it.
something Alan Bishop put out.
I was getting ready to ask the same thing.
It is very Allen style.
So this is out of Missoula, Montana.
Missoula.
This is Montgomery American Single Malt Whiskey. This is a limited edition, aged 5 years in charred oak barrels.
Nice.
This is their fourth release, distilled in 2013 and 14, aged in new American oak and ex-sherry
Oh,
butts.
there you go. So,
So there is a little bit of a secondary finish on
Yeah.
there. But
So, is there any peat on that at all? Do you know?
I don't get any
Nope.
peat.
Well, there's a little chocolatey, smoky,
far as I
medicinal
know.
on the back end.
Yeah, but I don't.
But it might be that the sherry.
Montgomery whiskey, if you're out there, hit your boy up. I like it.
Yeah, I think it's really good.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
funky. It has it's not like as refined as some of the other American single malts,
Right, but still,
I think we've
it's
had. But I think it plays well with the category and the pot still funk that
Right.
that one
2.5
would get off of it.
times pot stilled.
there you go. So you got that right. Yeah.
I like that weird
What?
shit
Two-
that
two
tastes
and a
like you're
half.
out on the prairie.
the funky stuff. Yeah.
I like the
like
funk.
you're chewing on a piece of hay,
Yeah,
right?
like
I
if
mean,
you're sitting by the campfire
There you
with
go.
your
Yeah.
herd of cattle out there riding down the range. That's what I like.
so what do you guys think? What are you doing? Fixer or mixer? Is
Oh,
that
and
what?
I think I paid $60.
Okay.
I'll say it might have been a little more. It might have been a little less.
It'd be a great $30 malt for me. Yeah, because it's a mixture for me. But I think it'd be great in some cocktails. Like I think there's a lot going on the undertones of that I think would do really well in some cocktails. But on its own, maybe over ice, it's just not for me.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't pay $60 for it. I liked it, but it wasn't a $60 bottle. Plus, it's single malt, so I'm like,
Whatever.
I'm pleased with the purchase.
Yeah, man.
I think I prefer this to some of the other ones.
I
we've
prefer
had.
this to Howler Head.
Show. Hey, it's the best thing to drink on the show tonight.
That's right,
I
man.
Think, I think 5 out of 5 would prefer this
There you go.
to Howler Head.
Philip.
You know what though? But if someone was like, "Hey, here's this bottle," like as a gift, I wouldn't be mad at it.
No,
This
not
is
at all.
hilarious.
It's still good whiskey.
Reading this. Honey, toffee, spice, fig, raisin.
It's almost
Yeah.
as if Matt read it.
It's almost like Matt read it beforehand, right? All right, guys.
It would be a fixture for me. I would buy it.
Fixture for me as well.
Okay. Well, guys, we're at the end of round 2, not 3, 2. So let's take a quick break, get a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back with more with the Bourbon Life Crew in just a minute.
The Stave Restaurant is a bourbon lover's paradise right here in the heart of bourbon country. Located at 5711 McCracken Pike in Millville, Kentucky, between Castle and Key and Woodford Reserve, Chef Kyle Klatka prepares amazing food each day that features an elevated Kentucky-inspired cuisine. With a full-service bar, great bourbon flights, and signature cocktails, the Stave is the perfect place to catch up with friends after a fun-filled day of touring the local distilleries. Be sure to check them out online at thestavekentucky.com or at Instagram and Facebook at The Stave Kentucky.
All right, everybody, welcome back for the third round of the Bourbon Life Podcast. I'm your host, Mark, and with me here tonight live in the Bourbon Life Studios, it's my friends.
It is your
Colonel
friends.
Bourbon Hunt KY Philip Elliston here.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, the Colonel.
That's right.
Our newest Kentucky Colonel,
Yeah.
Philip. Congratulations.
So it's me,
Congrats.
isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's right.
Two
Two
fifths of the
colonels.
Bourbon Life
That's
crew are Kentucky
Boys, we've got
colonels.
some work to do.
Hold on.
Peasants.
Matt, do you care? Stacy, do you care?
I'm not even the name.
Oh, y'all just jealous.
All right, let's
bitches.
move on.
Oh,
I'm happy for you, Philip. Yours was
Thank
for
you.
a great cause. Mark,
right.
I don't know what yours was for.
Yeah, I was
so.
gonna say, Philip,
Mark,
I
what
could
was
see
yours?
why someone would recommend you.
Yeah.
oh, wow.
What was yours for?
We don't know what yours was. Was it because you were what?
Because I
Did you feel entitled when they gave
yeah,
it to you?
Because it's a long story, but regardless, I helped to get a governor elected working on his campaign. So that's the
Did you
story.
get any kickbacks?
No
Come on.
kickbacks.
Yeah, he got a
but I got to be-
kickback. He's a colonel.
Mark,
I got
I
to be-
gotta teach you some political
Colonel
skills.
kickback.
Man,
We call
You
that
got-
lobbying, Mark.
I know, but
Mark, man.
it's all right. That's the only exchange I wanted, man. I worked on his
Oh.
campaign, and then after the fact, I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool.
Was it the love gov?
It was actually
Patton?
it was no, it was before him. It was Burton Jones.
It was back in the
okay.
40s.
It was the one that got back in 1833. Got assassinated.
It was back. It was
He worked on Henry Clay's original campaign.
Henry Clay was never a governor, was
No,
he?
he wasn't.
Henry
no.
Clay. Henry Clay was not the great compromiser. It was really me.
It was Mark
Yeah.
Rucker.
I was
Mark Rucker was the.
I was negotiating all
he
his
wrote
deals.
the Gettysburg Address.
Oh,
right.
my God.
7 years ago, bitches. But he made me take that part out. But yeah,
They
The
say
rest
that
of
Mark's picture's at the Alamo.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of
I
times.
remember the Alamo.
Have you ever been there?
No, I have
that
not.
place is
Pee Wee Herman house.
tiny.
I saw the basement. I was in the basement of the
You
Alamo.
would see them.
Yeah. Anyway.
Lotion on the skin.
Oh God. Can we talk about? Here we go.
That's why
Buffalo
people-
Bob.
That's why these are the favorite episodes.
Yeah. Yeah. Favorite.
Didn't you guys miss me?
Yes.
It's been a while.
Stacey, it is good to have you back.
It's
So
great
let's
to
go
be
around
back.
the table. Philip, welcome back.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, Matt.
Are you all going to plug your Instagram handles?
Oh, yes.
here?
Yes.
Bourbon Hunting KY. None of you all ever follow me. That's fine. I don't care. I'm not going to engage with
Do you
more
lose
than likely.
followers with every episode?
yeah.
Sorry
Every
about-
episode.
sorry
I get
about
a lot of followers from crypto people.
You know what? Maybe you should take a shot. Take one for the team. If you become a
Bourbon's-
millionaire, I'll follow up.
Man, I took a shot with Safe Moon with Mark, and I paid $50, and now I have $2 in my account.
All I got to say is sucks to be you all because I invested in 2017.
Oh, did you really?
Ah.
You suck, dude.
So Mark, would you do Bitcoin?
I've got a few different ones.
Yeah, so he's done cash out.
He's
He's got
Yeah,
a
yeah,
diversified
he's-
portfolio.
That's why he doesn't want to be on Instagram. He wants somebody to see
yeah.
his face.
And and he doesn't care about us. He just does this for fun every once in a while.
I did see today, so me and you here, trending. It said Safe Moon Donald Trump. I don't know what that means, but maybe he's going to invest some money.
Maybe we'll get our money back. So
Good luck.
yeah, I think I put in $2,000 on that total, and it went up to $10,000, and then now it's worth like $1.56.
If
So-
I ever got 5x on anything I invested, I'd fucking sell it.
well,
I mean, that's-
I know.
I was only $50 in, so I spent almost as much as I did on that Howler Head. So I'm still.
And we are not investment advisors, so please not take any of this.
Please do not
please
take
any of
investment
this
advice.
from us
If
as
we,
investment.
if we recommend something, go the other way.
That's exactly right.
If
yes.
you recommend investment, not bourbon.
Not
Yeah,
bourbon,
that's right.
because we're good with that. But speaking of recommending,
Let's
Matt.
recommend Matt's Instagram
how's it-
handle,
yeah,
which
Matt,
is
what's your Instagram? Tell everybody what you got going on.
Nothing.
Okay,
Yep.
there you go.
Next.
Matt has no Instagram yet,
Pass.
but we're gonna work on
If you were to have one, what would you want your handle to be?
Iron Man.
With two
859.
with two ends.
that. I run you down. 20.
We'll come up with
maybe
something.
IRUN man.
Well, that's what Matt does. Matt's his strength is running, right? So
Let's call him the Ride Daddy. There you
the
go.
Ride Daddy.
Oh my
Ride Daddy. That'll work. No,
I wouldn't do that to you.
all right.
No, Matt's just,
appreciate that, guys.
at daddy.
Stacey,
That might already be taken.
how are you doing, Stacey?
Doing great.
Yeah. Do you have an Instagram?
I do, but I'll be completely transparent. I haven't been very active on there, so sorry, not sorry. It's
Yeah.
at Freckled and Shard.
Okay. What about you, Chadwick?
I do. It's at My Daily Bourbon.
There you go.
Chad's probably the most active next to
Yeah,
Mark.
he is.
I am about burnt out on Instagram.
I've been slacking.
I go through phases.
I
every
really
few
have
months.
I struggle. The last year and a half, I've struggled with it.
I
so.
quit posting. I do stories and then I just send wrestling memes.
I was going to say, you and I send wrestling memes back and forth to each other, and I share stupid stuff on my stories, and that's about it.
I send Steve Berman a lot of emo posts. So that's our relationship.
I can get on that too.
No, it's
Come
me
on.
and Steve. I like to rub his bald head.
I don't know. Is that Berman's?
Yeah, that's Bourbon's
I
bourbon.
don't know him. I've seen him on social, so I don't.
Have you seen his guns on social?
Probably have, yeah.
He's proud.
Yeah.
He should be.
Well,
but,
there you go. You put that work in, right? So,
Sun's out, guns out.
That's right.
oh,
TRT. That's the.
is that
If you hit like 35, you can start getting that TRT from the doctor.
I was gonna say so that's like a growth hormone. It's like McGuire taking his name.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
whatever.
you're taking steroids, but
Yeah.
it's
You hear
getting it
that,
from a
Berman's
doctor.
bourbon? He thinks you're on roids.
I don't even know who that is. So.
Dang.
Shots
TRT
fired,
is a
bro.
little
Fired again.
Testosterone replacement therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, Matt.
see?
Matt knows all about it.
Hey, they don't test for it in Iron Man. Back off.
They do actually.
Oh, do they?
Yeah.
See? Yeah.
I figure they test for all that shit for Iron Man.
Matt has some drug tests, right?
I think they should. Again, I think I said it last time. I think they should just. If it's not a physical contact sport, why are you testing? Let's see what this human body can do.
You know, I would love to see a baseball league where everybody's
Hell yeah.
roided out.
roided up.
Well, we did.
Did
in
you?
the
Yeah.
90s.
Yeah, that was the
McGuire
90s.
set
That was the 90s.
Best home run
It was
chase
called
ever.
2004.
That was awesome, man. That was a great.
Oh, God. Anyway,
No doubt about it. So this round, we are drinking something that Chad brought, and this
way darker
I'm
than
just
what
gonna
we've
say
been
from
drinking.
the
Holy
pour.
hell.
Yeah, I
Like
mean,
a
this
cup
is
of
like,
coffee over here.
Yeah, the darkest so far, and the most pleasant to me on the nose to this point. So this,
So tell us about the nose.
yeah. So to me, it's like you're so funny. I get some brown sugar, almost like a burnt sugar, but also like cherry or stone fruits of some form. But cherry comes through to me. Of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention caramel and vanilla as well. Are you laughing over there, Stacy?
No, I was
I'm like, am I that-
centering my palate over
Yep.
here. Or my nose.
Yeah, I gotcha. Yeah. So that's what really stands
I
out.
wasn't laughing. If I was laughing, I'd laugh directly at you. So.
This makes me think it may be older. I don't know. I mean, the color obviously, but it could just be cask strength. What's the proof on it?
I'm going to guess about 125.
I was thinking
You
120.
can't ask
I was
that.
thinking 120. No, we said we could ask proof, right?
Do proof 120, 124.7.
Good job, right there, man.
It's a little hot on the nose.
Yeah, it that does come through, but I love it. So this to me has like all these traditional type of high proof, well aged, delicious bourbon notes that I really, really enjoy. So
I'm going to.
you're gonna digress.
No, I'm going to say it's got a very Jim Beam Knob Creek-esque nose.
Okay.
I think.
I got you.
I could be totally wrong, but
You could be.
that's what I think.
That's all right.
It's not Heaven Hill.
See, I was gonna. Well,
I will say, once you guys find out what this is, since you seem to be having all the luck over here, Rucker, if you find one of these for a relatively decent price, like you have everything else, I would like you to get me one, because somehow I've gone from like not finding shit to Mark Rucker's over here like, here's 12 allocated bottles in 3 days.
it's not quite like that, but
14
14 allocated bottles in 3 days. My
It's
bad.
more like 15.
That's why we're all his friends. Look around.
So rounding up. Yeah.
well, yeah.
Show off the Jack Daniels.
I was gonna say, those
And
are
the
not-
pot still.
Those are not. Yeah, the Willet Pot's still front and center.
That's
there,
not the
man.
good shit. That's
Yeah.
why I'm over here.
You can have all that you want, Philip. Mix it with the Howler Head. Matt, what are you
that'd be
picking up
pretty
on the
good.
nose on this?
It's got a really dark fruit forward nose for me.
Yeah.
It's like a lot of dark stone fruit and like dark tree fruit, almost like rich apple, a lot of cherry, a lot of dark berries on it, almost like macerated berries. There's a sweetness undertone too, like a blackberry pie or like a cherry pie
Nice.
sweetness, like definitely some sugar notes. So it makes me think that there's some age accompanying this as well. I have a thought of where it kind of smells like, but I don't suspect I'm right, but I have a thought.
Okay. You want to share it? Because
Oh, I guess you both weighed in. To me, something about this just rings 4 roses.
Okay. Interesting.
I know that it's a little high in proof, but some of their single barrel stuff is come down the line 4 roses. Or
Yeah.
this could be like I don't know,
Something aged from them.
something older, like maybe one of the older Buckners or
Right.
something.
Interesting. All right, Stacy, what about you?
Anyway,
My wheels are spinning now. Got a lot of proof on the nose originally, especially compared to what we've been drinking earlier.
Yeah.
No offense, Howler Head. This one does not smell like banana. I got similar notes as to what Matt picked up. I was going to say blackberry cobbler, and he beat me with that, but
I beat her with a blackberry cobbler.
he beat me with a blackberry cobbler.
Thanksgiving dinner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The howler heads kicked in.
That's right. This is wrestling.
That's right. We're wrestling now.
Pie smack.
Check out TMZ tomorrow.
I do get a lot of
Check
the
out our Patreon
the
tomorrow.
dark stuff. We could go viral, guys, with some fights here.
Oh, wow.
Lots of dark stone fruits on this as well. I'm very curious to hear what this is. I feel like Chad's trying to trick us with this one.
You're pie curious.
I am pie curious. But
Yes.
Is
so.
it? I gotta ask this. Is this from the brand you work for?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because he's
So,
sneaky.
it is
He'll
not.
slide some shit like that in there.
You want to tell us what you get on the nose? I mean, you're not going to give it away.
Sure. No, I'm not gonna give it away. There's a lot of berries and dried fruit. So we've already talked about, blackberry, cherry. There's a little bit of a raspberry in there. Tons. I mean, like brown sugar bomb.
Yeah.
Brown butter, little molasses. It's got like a slight dust. So I understand why you go with like the Jim Beam. Like why you think Jim Beam. I think all Jim Beam products have like a dusty funk to them. Mm-hmm. It's just kind of, I assume the yeast they use. This kind of has that dusty funk to me. Now that I've gotten into buying and, trying and tasting a lot more dusty products over the last year. I think this is why I connected with this so much when I got it. I was so excited. On the nose, it has that almost like it's been bottled too long smell. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like it's when you smell.
I know exactly what you're talking about. If you taste something dusty, which you will all have, it almost leaves a feeling in your mouth and everything, like you've tasted dust.
Yeah, I mean, and it's just that aroma. It's like basement, like wet basement, but in a good way. Like
it's just it's a funk that you can't really describe until you've tasted something like that.
But this has that note in there, and it's what sold me on it when I first when I first received the bottle, and it. I've been a big fan of this ever since. I've been waiting for this day to pour this because I don't think it tastes like the distillery that it's from. So it might shock you guys, it might not.
Okay.
Interesting.
And, yeah, that's interesting.
Now I know, because I know Chad is like the wild turkey fanatic. So I'm like sitting here racking my brain. I'm just like,
I know. I feel like he's the sneaky guy.
I know, but I'm like,
going to try and
this
throw
is
something in.
Turkey, I can tell you right now, if you ever had anything from Wild Turkey that was 124 point whatever proof,
Yeah.
it's either A, old as hell, or B, non-existent.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that's what they say. It just doesn't fit any profile that I could think of from turkey at all. So,
Color on it's gorgeous.
yeah.
While we're talking about dusties and stuff like that, I think, is that the natural
Dusty Rose.
progression?
What's that?
Is I know Chad's into dusties now. I would honestly, I don't go into liquor stores anymore looking for new bottles.
I don't either, but then
I could
Mark's finding these
yeah,
17-year-old fucking
if I
Jim
could-
Beams.
If like I've got a couple coworkers that are from Lawrenceburg, I'm like,
Yeah.
and I'm starting showing them pictures. I'm like, if you see any of these bottles at your parents' house or your grandparents' house,
Yeah.
tell them I want it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's, to me, that's where I'm at now. I'm ready to,
I mean,
because it kind of like the bourbon's good and I would drink it any time and I'd go buy it. But now I'm kind of still chasing that. That bourbon hunting thing when I was going and looking for limited releases at Liquor Barn. Now I'm like,
It's hard
Let's
to-
find something that I can't get anywhere else.
So many people are doing it, and Jim Beam announced Baker's 13 the other day, and then I shit you not, one of the Discord groups I'm in, some asshole in there posted that he got a Wild Turkey Master Keep Voyage and a Baker's 13. And I'm like, what the hell? I was like, I was like curious about SRP, and this, I mean, he just straight up said, I paid more than secondary for both of these, I'm sure.
oh, wow.
He said like $900 between the two bottles. And I'm like, shit, Baker's 13 retails for $130.
Yeah.
Now Master Keep Voyage is $300, so you're in almost $500 after tax for those two bottles. But now I'm at the point to where it's like, yes, I want those. I want all the Hardin's Creek. I really do want all the Hardin's Creek. You find them, let me know. But I could take that $500 and I could go buy some, and I know this may sound stupid, some 4-year-old like old National Distillers or old Heaven Hill or old whatever, old Commonwealth from like 1960s.
Yep.
And be just as happy paying $100 for that as I would be paying $100
Well, yeah,
for
because
something.
you can't find that kind of stuff
Well, no, and it's
like anywhere.
Yeah.
like, I would love to have pay $200 for Hardin's Creek and get those that line up, but it's hard because I don't hunt for, I don't work in retail anymore. So it's hard to say like, when I don't know when it's releasing or dropping, like when to hit other stores to find it. And I used to time it with Kroger because anytime I got it, it's like the next day Kroger's going to get it. It's kind of how I always knew.
Gotcha.
But it sucks. But it's I got one of the bottles I meant to bring tonight. It's like a 1962 something or another from a distillery that like I've never even heard of and a brand I've never heard of. And I think I paid like $75 for this bottle. But it's a piece of history because there's like no information on it. But
and there's something to me about that like going back to that era of buying bourbon, nothing was automated. Like today, if you go to any distillery, their column stills the master distiller doesn't.
Oh, I mean, even the water they were using. I mean, like
they don't run anything except through a computer. Right. So like back in that day, that was an art. Like whoever the master distiller was overseeing everything from the water to the grain.
Yeah.
That whole pot still kind of thing that I like, there's still an art to it because nothing's automated.
Absolutely.
So that's what I love about the old dusty stuff.
Yeah. And I've not kind of crossed that bridge into the Dusties.
Oh, give it time, my boy.
Well, but
So good.
give it time, Daddy Rucker.
but the older whiskeys are definitely
At Daddy Rucker.
becoming a thing for me. And I joked about it. If I could drink 15-year-old whiskey all the time, I would. And now it's like, okay,
Says the guy with like 400 bottles of Elijah Craig Barrel Proof around his apartment or around his basement. Not
This is a
apartment.
big ass apartment.
I mean, it's the size of my apartment.
Yeah. So, but it's funny because I got the bottle of 15-year-old Pappy, which was good. I mean, it's not spectacular, but it's a good bottle, right?
Right.
But then I got that. My friend just happened to be in Bardstown and picked up the bottle of the 15-year-old William Heaven Hill, which was spectacular.
That was fantastic.
I mean,
I think the 12-year. I like. Okay, don't get me wrong. The new release of the Pappy, the 15-year is great. It's, great $150 bottle. I think the 12-year that you poured for us, like
That Lot B, yeah.
Yeah, that Lot B was better. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know
I
what year
like
that
the
was. That was a good.
15.
That Lot B was really good.
yeah, and and then Nelson Brothers
Oh my
got
God.
that 15-year-old rye. And it was like
That was
Out of
stupid.
this world.
I mean,
Stupid.
honestly.
That's why I want another bottle.
I know.
That'd be
I
my
mean,
third.
well, I've had two. And
Jesus, you've already drank
I know.
2?
I've got-
I'm almost through the second one.
I am
my
too.
God.
I know. I'm almost through my second. I'm
And
almost
that's
If I
what,
had 'em,
$200?
they'd be gone.
$299 a
Yeah,
bottle.
$300. But let me tell you what.
15-year-old MGB
When you
rye.
when you taste
It
something,
is so damn
yeah.
good.
that I mean, like that's one of those things. Like I had to have it, and I reached out to people till I could get it.
Yeah.
So
I would tell anybody if they see that bottle, I don't care if you're paying
Philip, I'm gonna need
$500
you
for
to
it.
shut the hell up.
Yeah, don't buy it. Send it
Buy
to
it and
Chad
send it
and
to
myself.
Chad.
so then Hardin's Creek comes out, right? And it's like, okay, now they got the Hardin's Creek.
15,
well,
16, 17.
yeah, so I did the 15-year-old. I got that in the drop, or where
That's
they
the
call
Claremont,
theirs.
right?
Well, the first one they did was that they had a
Oh, that's
the
right.
2-year-old
Yeah, the 2-year and
and
the
a
15,
15-year-old, right?
Well, 15, 16-year-old. It was a blend of the
Right,
standard
okay.
mash bill with the
Yeah.
old granddad mash bill.
Yeah, so they did that, and it
Which
was,
I actually thought the 2-year.
you like the 2-year-old better than
The
that
2-year
one.
was good.
The 2 years really good.
especially when you factor in price.
but not
I know it's really
$90
like
or whatever it was.
$80 for a
Yeah.
2-year-old, but I would rather pay that than
Yeah, that good.
$150 or whatever for the 15-year-old
But
of that first release.
Then they put out the Claremont, and that's
That Claremont is
Yeah, man,
That
it's-
changed your mind a
that's
little
something,
bit?
No.
that's something special.
I want to
So-
try that.
So
It's
now
one
I'm
of the better I've had.
I'm on this kick. I mean, it's like I love a lot of different bourbons, obviously, but when you start drinking that 13, 15, 17-year-old stuff, it's like, oh my God, and some people are like, oh, it's too tannic, it's too old, it's
Mark finally understands what I mean.
No, I get it. I mean, I'm right there with you, and I had a great experience that I can't quite talk about yet. Well, no, you know what? I can talk about.
You can't talk about it.
That's right.
And good
That's right.
segue.
Yeah, because it's going to come out, right? It's going to come out. This comes out Friday, so it'll already be announced.
Hey,
So-
it
You said the 16th. It comes out tomorrow.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
this
yeah.
is Friday. Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
so I
good.
got invited to Maker's Mark because
Are they putting the bottles out tomorrow?
No. The bottles won't be released until September 15th.
I was gonna say I didn't think it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
But Maker's Mark is releasing a cellar aged release, which is fantastic. So they took barrels, they aged barrels in the warehouse. Typically, Maker's Mark is going to be the 6 to 7-year-old, right? They rotate the barrels, et cetera, all that good stuff. So what they did, they took a group of barrels and they aged them together and then left some of the barrels in the warehouse for an additional 6 years. So it became a 12-year-old. Then they took the other barrels and put it in their cellar that they have there, which is year-round, like 55 degrees or whatever. So kind of like a Scotch, like a Dunnage, or so it doesn't age. It's not going to have the fluctuation.
It's
in
not going to get that
humidity.
heavy influence of the oak.
Yeah,
so you're,
right.
you're going to get some of those fruity, some of those estery notes, but you're not
Yes.
going to get all the tannins and dryness.
Yep, which is what happened. I mean, the 12-year-old cellar aged is delicious, but I will tell you, the 12-year-old, the 12-year-old warehouse aged to me was more. I enjoyed it more just because it was more to my palate. But they will never release it because it's not in Maker's Mark's
Profile.
It's not in their guidelines. It's not in their guardrails. Guardrails is the key.
And,
term
and
for that.
here's and I get it. You know, I Maker's Mark's what I cut my teeth on. Like when I first started getting into bourbon, it's what I cut my teeth. You know, they want people. They have this idea. You know, and the Samuels are like, it has to be this way. But then eventually we got 46, which is the first bottle of bourbon I ever bought legally. Was Maker's Mark 46.
Was it really?
Yeah, I walked into Kroger.
Nice.
Very nice.
And it was on sale for like $28.99, and I threw $30 on there on the counter, put it down at Kroger. The guy didn't ID me. I was like, shit. I was like,
Been wasting my time.
I said, I just turned 21. He said, if you walked in here yesterday, I would have sold you 2. I was like, damn. And from then on, I only shopped
Did you
at
have the
Kroger for
beard
liquor.
of knowledge back then?
I did, yeah. Like, yeah.
It probably looked more like mine. He probably had patches and shit.
No.
35. So.
No. My beard grew in gray at 15, so I used to shave it. And then as I got to like 18, it finally had color to it. So it was very weird
You had a
progression.
beard at 15?
That's
yeah.
weird.
Yeah, me
What's
too.
your name? Gandalf?
Jesus. I've been growing mine since I've been 15. And this is all I got.
Hey, Matt did grow a mustache a couple of years ago, man.
Really?
Hey,
Let's bring it
yeah.
back.
Bring back the stash.
No, it looked like the world's creepiest caterpillar.
It was
you've
like-
ever
it was
seen.
like a
It was like-
No,
it looked
hey,
like
no.
Dr. Evil's cat was growing across my upper lip.
It was awesome. It was awesome.
So Chad and
Foreign
I
mustache.
are talking about shaving our beards for charity. And I was talking about I would shave to, I don't know if I could go, I'm not clean shaven. And
Man, I don't-
Brittany's not seen this chin in a long time.
I've never seen you. I've known you for 3 years now.
The shortest it's been was like, 2020 when I had to shave down to wear a mask. But still, even at that point, I left enough to cover up my chin because I don't have one. But if with this charity thing, you guys grow a mustache and we shave to a mustache, if we hit the goal we're looking for, and that's got to be till the end of the year. We have to have a mustache till the end of the year.
See, I was getting ready to ask. So, obviously I bought a new house and I'm having y'all down.
Yeah. Oh,
And it's going to be around towards the end of October. Matt, you want to grow a mustache until October? That's what I want.
it was
I
awesome.
want to see Matt show
What do
up
you
with a
guys want
mustache.
me to do?
I wanted
I'm
him to
not
grow a
shaving my
mustache.
head.
grow your mustache.
Grow my mustache.
Yeah, let's do it like Wolf of
Just
Wall
stop
Street.
waxing. You'll be all
Mark,
right.
Here we go.
Mark, give her some money. She'll shave her head.
There you go. Oh yeah, I like that.
Think
Mark,
on
you
it.
look good with some nice chops.
You think so?
Oh, yeah.
Some Elvis,
Yeah.
Hey,
some Elvis Burns.
when I was
Chops
15, there's a picture, like I have to find out, it's on MySpace. But
Is it on your
I'm playing-
Zynga page?
I'm playing like a Coldplay or a John Mayer song or something on stage for a Christmas concert
Oh,
at
my
school.
God.
And I had lamb chops because
Oh, wow.
my chin used to grow in gray. I don't know why.
That's
like
so weird.
my grandma had some kind of disease where she went white at 15, and my dad got it too. So
Oh,
my
so
my
genetic,
chin,
okay.
yeah. So
So
this
do you
isn't-
dye it?
No, I don't dye, but it's why it grows
The
in. You'll
longer
see
it grows out.
brown, red, and white.
Okay.
So yeah, there's some disorder there, but there's
It's called living in the mountains.
yeah. If I can find the picture, I've got these.
It's called
thick-
Uncle Daddy. That's exactly what it's called.
Hey, that's what they called me. But I've got this picture where I have these thick ass lamb chops, and I've always wanted a reason to go back, but I need someone to do it with me. So
Man,
mustache
Do
and lamb
it.
chops.
I don't know.
Mustache and lamb chops.
Do the old school, like where it goes from the mustache into the beard.
I've done that.
Yeah.
I lost,
Oh, no.
I lost a bet when I worked at Best Buy.
I worked at Best Buy too.
Someone beat me in sales, and he's like, shave it to he said a Fu Manchu handlebar. I was like, fucking all right, and I did it. I sold more phones that month than he did with the Fu Manchu handlebar.
Nice. That's good bet like game right there. We always used to do spray tan or wax your eyebrows.
Wow,
Man.
waxing the eyebrows is
That's-
intense.
That's scary.
That's intense.
That's making my head hurt.
Yeah, no.
If I pick one in between my unibrow, that hurts.
Oh, try being a lady.
I don't want to. I'd rather do that than get a spray tan. I mean, I'm like yellow. I don't want to be
man.
orange. I mean,
All right, kids, we've derailed here. Let's jump back over to the whiskey. It's been a fun conversation, but we're almost
yeah,
at
we're
the
having-
end.
You don't
We're
want to keep
almost at
talking
the
about
end.
spray tans?
We can, but our listeners
mustaches?
probably want to know what we think about this whiskey. So, in terms of the palate and the finish, Matt,
hold on. Before we go in there,
I'm sorry, man.
anything else for Maker's Mark?
Well, it'll come out. But yes, the 12-year-old was great. The cellar aged is really good. Deep, rich notes, fruity. Just the complexity is amazing. I really enjoyed it. But the 12-year-old warehouse aged was, man, if I could convince them to sell me a barrel, I would get as many of my friends together that it took to do that.
Listen,
and buy that barrel.
I'm sure Denny's got some pool.
So
You know what would leverage your buying power?
What's
A
that?
powerful mustache.
Oh,
right. Quick fire question: do you think that's hurting or helping Maker's Mark by staying consistent with their brand or not releasing that?
that's a great question. Maybe we should revisit that one because that'll be a good conversation.
Oh yeah. So next time, let's do.
Let's take notes.
What's holding a distillery back?
Okay, yeah,
Ooh,
good.
I like that.
I like that.
That's a whole episode.
There you go. We can do that next round. Keep a note of that one. That's a good question. But all right, Matt. So let's jump over to the whiskey. What are you getting? Because I was supposed to have you guys out of here 25 minutes ago, and it's too late now. So I'm just kidding. What do you get on that? What do you get? Mrs. Bourbon Life.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It's warm, definitely spicy up front. A good amount of cinnamon raisin bread. The sweetness comes through to it. A lot of that cherry, a lot of stone fruit, the macerated fruit that we were talking about.
Yeah.
A little bit of oak, some barrel influence on the finish, long warm finish. I'm going to switch over. I had guessed that this might have been Four Roses. This actually tastes a little bit to me like a Willet.
Oh my.
Interesting.
A Willet single barrel.
Philip, what do you think, man? Oh, as he takes a drink. Sorry, man.
I don't. Matt's notes are pretty good. I'm just curious. So I'm assuming it's not Knob Creek or the Jim Beam thing.
Yeah.
Chad brought up. Chad, is it something maybe from New Riff?
All right.
He said no.
All right. Stacy, what do you think? What are your notes? And then what's your
Notes, definitely a long finish. I am still getting a lot of the dark stone fruits on the palate. Not as sweet as it was on the nose. I really enjoy this, but it drinks hot.
Yeah.
It drinks hot, but I dig it. I like it.
I love it. I mean, all the fruit, characteristics, the cherry, the brown sugar, the heat, the spice, everything. And I mean, if somebody asked me you're asking what this is, I would say it's a Heaven Hill product, an aged Heaven Hill product at full proof. But that's me. So that's my thing. All right, what do we got?
All right.
What are your notes? Yeah.
Yeah. I was gonna say, let me give my notes.
Yes.
Same as the nose. Tons of dried fruit, berry, stone fruit. Cherry, blackberry, apricot. I mean, it's got like a lot. It's got light fruit, dark fruit, berry, brown sugar, a lot of oak. It still has that same dustiness on the palate. A little bit of like fruit heavy, tons of oak and tannins. But at 124.7 proof, this is the 2023 Woodford.
Oh, no way, man.
No freaking way.
That's impressive.
No.
Okay, so I've actually had that, had a pour of that, and did not remember it being anything like this. I just don't.
It's freaking like.
Yeah, that's amazing.
When I got the
really damn
bottle, when I
good.
opened the box, I was like, "Holy crap!" And
I'm impressed.
Yeah.
No, I mean, like, it's amazing. Which I love. I think they. No offense against Old Forester barrel strength single barrel picks, but I see where you get that Willet. Like, it's got a strong cinnamon, tannic bitterness to it. But I think because Woodford Reserve, for those of you who don't know, like the average age is around 7 years, so that means a majority of it's 7 years old.
Right.
So getting it a 7-year brown forman product with this proof, I mean, the color's crazy, the proof's crazy, but I think these retail for like $119, and I think they're
I'd
worth
buy it.
every penny. I hate that it's
hell
once
yeah.
a year.
That's
Right.
good.
I would get that over a Life's Creek barrel proof every time.
That is fantastic.
Ooh, I don't know about every time.
I
Yeah.
would.
But that's really damn good.
It is very good. No question about it.
Yeah, that one's really
Nice,
good.
man. Thanks
That
for bringing that one.
surprised
Yeah.
surprised me because I was not
I love their
expecting
doubled
that.
oaked.
Oh,
but
yeah.
That's really good.
Very nice. Well, guys, we are at the end of the show. So let's get some, fixer, mixer.
Fixture.
Fixer.
That would go great with some Coke Zero.
You know, I would love to mix this with some Sprite.
Yeah. Be a great idea.
Yeah.
Do it. All right, guys. Final thoughts. Matt?
Hey, thanks
Hey.
everybody for joining us tonight. Sorry you had to sit through it, but we're glad you did. So we always appreciate y'all listening and keep joining us. Thanks.
Wow, Matt's like, I'm out. I'm ready to go. Philip?
Hey, check me out on Instagram, Bourbon Hunt KY, and I'm glad you listened too.
That's Stacy.
You can unfollow me if you want. I've been told I'm a little abrasive. Sorry.
No, not you. Not at all.
A little sharp around the edges.
All right. Chad, anything you want to add, man?
Thank you guys for listening, tuning in, whatever time of day it is, morning, noon, or night.
Thank
we
you,
appreciate
Chad.
you, and thank you to our sponsors. We could not make this show happen,
Man.
without this, because Mark sucks and did not mention that in the beginning of the show. But
Wow.
Thanks to the sponsors.
for everyone who listens and for helping this show continue along, we appreciate you. We love you. And Mark Rucker, will you please close it out?
I don't really know what else there's left to say.
Keep living the bourbon life.
After that, I mean,
Cue the
really,
fiddles.
You got one line.
That's really all I should say. May your glasses always be full, and may you keep on living the bourbon life.
Cue the violin.
Thank you for joining us for this week's episode of the Bourbon Life Podcast. Our mission at the Bourbon Life is simple: to share our passion for all things bourbon with you every week. And we'd really love to hear your thoughts on how we're doing. You can find us on Instagram and Facebook at The Bourbon Life. You can also contact us by email at thebourbonlife@gmail.com. And you can always find us on your favorite podcast platform. If you have a moment, we'd love it if you would rate us and give us a review. So until next week, we hope your glass is always full and that you keep on living the bourbon life.